What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode number 58 of Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast. Remember, if you like Xbox and games in general, make sure to join us live, usually every Thursday. We got a special circumstance tonight, so Wednesday tonight, but normally Thursdays, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning on your favorite podcast service. If you could, drop us a rating on whatever service you use, review us over on Apple Podcasts. Really does help us grow the show. I'm your host, Kevin, aka the Muffin Mon, and today I welcome back Tom and Garrett. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Pretty good. You know, me and Garrett just got off a quick match on Halo. Excited. I beat him. Good way to start the podcast, you know?
Was it close?
No, it wasn't close.
Well,
arguably. It was like, what, 4/5 I was catching up to him.
This is all right. Well, you two can settle it offline. But before I introduce our special guest, who video watchers will already see on the screen, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. I was lucky enough to appear on the Iron Lords podcast this past weekend, where we spent 4 hours talking about my gaming history, Project XTalk, and the gaming news. It was a ton of fun. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait to go back if they will be. If they will welcome me back, I would love to go back at any point. So I want to shout out Lord Cognito, King, Sav, Attic, the whole team over there, Iron Lords. Thank you. You're genuinely amazing and awesome guys. So go check that out if you haven't. But as I said, we do have a special guest this week. He is the producer of the Double Barrel Gaming YouTube channel, the host of Breakfast with Boom, the Xbox Factor podcast, and Primetime Gaming. MrBoomStickXL, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I know we've been trying to get the schedules together. I appreciate you doing it on a Wednesday. I know you guys normally go on Thursday to obviously help me with the scheduling because it's just been so busy. But I'm super excited. Great topics. Great to see you on the Iron Lords. Those are my brothers, and obviously they're doing some great things over there. So if you got in once, you're probably going to get in another time. So don't worry so much about that.
Well, yeah, it was a great show and lots of laughs, lots of good fun conversation.
4 hours, 4+ hours.
Yeah. My big revelation after those 4 hours was, man, how do they not go to the bathroom? They sat there the whole time, and I was like, I am ready to burst over here. Let's.
Dude, my biggest revelation that whole thing was, I did not know half the things about you that I know now.
Like what?
I didn't know you had a twin.
Oh, yeah. Twin brother.
Wait,
yep.
What?
Yeah.
Now I gotta watch this thing.
Yes,
you got a twin?
It's a 4-hour epic. Go give it a watch.
It's a great episode, genuinely. But I saw you Boom on the Iron Lords a few weeks ago, actually.
Yes.
That was a really good episode too, and you said lots of good stuff about content creation on that episode. You know, being up and comers, trying to like grow in the scene and stuff. It was a very good episode. So if you haven't seen that, go check that one out as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of the things that I love pushing is, if you have a voice, if you have a show, I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm saying that if you want to grow in the community, it behooves you to help others. Put out the hand, because at some point or another, we all had one sub. Mine was my wife. Mrs. Boom was the first sub that I ever had. And, you grow by, putting in the work, which you guys do, staying away from the toxicity, which we know social media can be, and it's been kind of gross lately.
Mm-hmm.
But helping others is incredibly important and a big part of the journey. And listen, like I said, we're going to get you guys on the show at some point or another in the future. And that call goes out to everybody. If you've never podcasted before and you want to check off that bucket list thing, hit me up in the DM.
Absolutely. And I think you do a great job of that. And the Iron Lords obviously do a great job of that. Yep. So it's really, and I said this on the show, it's really good to see the community, lift each other up. And I said this over there that we haven't had a situation where we've asked anyone on the show and they've been like, well, you don't have enough subs. Like, that's a waste of my time. We haven't had that situation yet. I'm sure those people exist where they do look down, like, people are beneath them. But for our experience so far in the community, it's been very positive, very welcoming. And that is just great to see. Yeah. So for anyone out there listening, if you are scared to try this, just do it. Just get in there. You'll improve. You'll every week. You'll improve, and people are here to help you along the way. So that's a good message. I appreciate you sharing that out there, Boom. But as we do each and every week here on Project XTalk, I want to start the show proper by going around the room and asking one question. And that question is, what you playing? With the caveat, we're not going to talk about the one thing everyone probably wants to know, because we're going to talk about it later in the show. So apart from that one thing, Tom, what you playing?
All right. Well, besides what I want to play, what I have been playing prior to that, Forza Horizon 5, a lot of that. I got pretty much completed with almost every single road race possible. And I'm about halfway done with all the street races you can do. I completed the gauntlet, which is like the gauntlet is, it forces you to race around one lap around the entire map. It is really hard. You mess up once, if you're doing it on an online race, you're going to just back out. You lost. There's no reason to keep going. And actually, I wanted to touch on something briefly too, that I found a way to make a lot of money, and I've been abusing the hell out of it.
Please share.
Well, apparently it got patched. There was apparently a 6 gig patch that just happened today.
Oh, is the hot fix out finally?
Yeah, some big patch. I have not updated it yet, but so whatever I was gonna say wouldn't work anymore anyways.
No, it's a bummer.
But fun times to be had there. Like, I love the street races especially, just because it adds an extra layer of challenge because the traffic's racing around with you. But again, if you crash on that online, you might as well just back out.
So besides Forza, you playing anything else?
Honestly, besides Forza, I'm San Andreas. Yeah, the definitive edition. The game's a mess. It's a hot mess. I'm still having like really bad performance issues. I don't know if they're ever gonna patch this game properly. From what I've seen, a lot of the issues that were on the mobile version carried over into this version. And if they didn't bother patching those in the mobile version, why the hell would they waste their time fixing them here? I have zero faith in this current developer. Right now I'm up to San Fierro. I don't know if have you played San Andreas before, Garrett?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm up to like San Fierro, which is the San Francisco themed city. After you get booted out of Los Santos, so I'm enjoying the story because I love San Andreas. I grew up with it. Like, that was easily my top GTA game back in the PS2 and original Xbox era. So I'm enjoying that front. But geez, I'm still gonna nod. That's you guys, Grove Street Games. Just cancel yourself. Just disband.
Oh wow!
Just disband.
Just pack up.
I think the funniest glitch I've seen so far, I saw today, where if you are driving and you wiggle your car back and forth on the road, it actually expands.
Yes, that was GTA 3.
The model just gets bigger and bigger till it takes up the entire road.
That makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Garrett, what are you playing?
So I've been playing some Forza, of course. I haven't went as far as him. I'm still in like the single player part. But got the RS200. Love that car. Other than that, I've been playing the new Jurassic Park game, Jurassic World Evolution.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun, but the campaign is really condensed. I thought it was going to be like grow the park, deal with the 3 different managerial types of people and balance that whole thing while you grow up your islands and whatnot. But in this one, it's sort of like the campaign was a tutorial. Like, I ended up speedrunning it in probably like 4 hours.
Wow.
It was like 3-4 different parks, but
What's your
After
weirdest
that,
crossbreed?
I haven't got to that point in the game
Ah,
yet.
man, that's the
Because
fun
like
part.
well, yeah, I know, right? That's where I want to get to. But like the way that it's set up is like every island, it sets you up so that you have to redo all your technologies again. Or at least that's where I'm at, because I'm doing the challenges to try to get like the bigger end game islands.
I know
And
nothing about this game.
yeah,
You're missing out.
it's the funnest of the park resource management games.
Is it
Because
like
instead of like the roller coaster not being able to do its third loop, it's oh no, the velociraptors got out and are wreaking havoc again.
oh, okay. I was just gonna ask you, is it like Zoo Tycoon, but the animals could run riot and kill people?
Yeah, yeah. And like your lawsuit's worth a lot more when you massacre an entire family.
Yikes.
That sounds like an entertaining game. Boom, I'm gonna throw it over to you. What you playing?
Yeah, it's pretty much been Forza Horizon 5. It's a game I cannot stop playing. It's addictive. The more I gain in level, the more I actually want to do. The more I want to 3-star everything. And at night with the missus, Animal Crossing. Which I got almost 800 hours in.
Wow.
We started just recently. My wife's a beast at it. We play every night. It's great. Well, I love it. My nephew Tyler got us into it, and we've been hooked ever since.
That's I'm known as the guy that doesn't like Animal Crossing on this podcast. I just don't get the appeal of doing chores in a video game.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that, and I actually used to think that as well. I'm like, oh man, I gotta go do this, that, and everything. But it's just
I actually have thought about that since you said that. I think I have a slightly reasonable explanation for it. It is perfectly well done chores.
Yes.
If
I
that
agree.
makes any sense, like
they're fun.
There's something about the beauty and simplicity of just going to grab the rake and everything working out smoothly. Like I sort of get the appeal of that. Like I haven't personally played that, but like there's a certain beauty to just how smoothly those games work. From like the little bit that I saw, like I don't play it, but I get it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, again, yeah, it is very samey. I guess that's the best way you could say it. But we have a fun with it, especially when you're fishing and you're looking for new animals and stuff like that to add to your animal your Wikipedia for animals. It's again it's simplistic fun. Almost 40 million copies sold. So
Yep.
Nintendo is doing something right.
It's like
So, do you play that co-op with like two different switches, or you play on the same one?
No, so different switches. My wife enjoyed it so much that she was like, I got to get a Switch. And I got her the Animal Crossing Switch.
Nice. Yeah, I started it with, co-op with one Switch, and I ended up buying another Switch with my wife instead because
You see?
I wanted my own island and I didn't want to share it.
That's why actually we started playing co-op. Like she would do the fishing and I'd hand it over to her. And it comes a point that she's like, I kind of want my own island. So there you go.
Kicked you off.
wow. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I should get the girlfriend a Switch and some Animal Crossing and see what happens here. Apparently, it's a good relationship game.
It is, and her and as she just reminded me, her ranking for her home is much better, extremely much better than mine.
That's great. Bonding over some Animal Crossing. But what I've been playing Sly Cooper 4. I just beat it. I have now played all the Sly Cooper games,
Nice.
and I bought 3 months of PS Now back in October because I was like, okay, it'll probably take me 3 months to get through all the Sly Cooper games, and then I got through it in like a month, maybe a month and a half. So I'm like, I really wish I could refund those last 2 months and get my money back because there's nothing else on this service I really want to play. But other than Sly Cooper, which I loved, I've been playing Forza Horizon 5 as well. I know we've all been playing it now, but I'm not a Forza guy. I've never been a Forza guy. This is literally my first Forza that I've ever played, and it's kind of got its hooks in me. I find myself like, you know what? I'm just gonna put on a podcast and I'm gonna go drive. I'm gonna do some races. I'm gonna see what's in the world of Mexico down here. And it's like I get these cars. It's like how can I make them better? How can I make them look better? it's a lot of fun, and Playground made something really special here. And the fact that we've all been playing it and it's getting people like me who have never been the Forza people to play it, I think says a lot, which kind of I want to transition to a topic we were talking about before the show started, but I want to have it on air now. The Game Awards, specifically to do with Forza Horizon 5 not getting a Game of the Year nomination. Boom, you brought this up backstage, and I thought it was a great topic. How do you feel about Forza not being nominated?
Well, I'll say this. If you go to my channel, I just dropped episode 2 of the X vlog, right? It's something new I've added to the channel. A lot of people wanted some more impersonal VOD, video on demand stuff, which I did. And I'm quite enjoying it. And I'll say this. There are a couple of caveats that make a game of the year, right? It has to hit certain check marks in order to be a part of a conversation, and that's not being exclusive, right? Because the Game Awards is promotes doesn't promote exclusivity but inclusivity, right? They want everyone to be a part of it.
Yep.
And we've heard for many years, right? Wow, it's just another Forza game. Okay. I mean, if that's the narrative that you want to take in this conversation, I'll hear you on that. And then I will then serve you, well, Ratchet and Clank has now seen its 23rd release over the course of 5 generations of PlayStations. So why is it in there? Now hold on. I'm not saying that it's not a great game. I love it. It's going to be my personal top 10 because I'm a platform guy. I'm old, right? So I grew up with platforms. But when you have a game like Forza Horizon, and this is not an Xbox thing, right? This could be any game, right? I want people to understand that this is not a fanboy war kind of a thing looking to push a particular narrative. I want people to understand that let's just look at this as a game, right? Game A comes out, and in its first 24 hours surpasses 4.5 million players. Like, that's unheard of, right? And we're not talking about a first-person shooter or a over-the-shoulder third-person action romp. No, we're talking about a driving game, right? A driving game found a way to captivate an audience that normally, like yourself, would never play, right? You weren't suffering from FOMO. You were logistically, wow, this game is pretty goddamn good, right?
It is.
So then when we take a step back and we start asking the questions, well, why should this be a part of the conversation for Game of the Year? And I'll just do some of the check marks. Over 9 million players in 7 days. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Right? Ridiculous. Highest rated game of the entire 21 campaign, right? Every one of the nominees, and there's 6 of them, the highest mark is an 88. Forza has that beat by 3 at 91, right? You look at the way people are talking about it. Kevin, perfect example. I don't play Forza. This is my first Forza, and it got its hooks into me.
Yeah.
Right? Then you take into the conversation that they somehow created their own subgenre where people are calling this a car PG. Now, all of these definitive factors, to me, say that Game A is a Game of the Year candidate. So I don't know where there's an argument. Now, again, this comes down to Jeff Keighley. This is the egg on. He has egg on his face right now, and it doesn't look good. I don't know if he's going to take a knee and add it. I don't know if he's going to publicly apologize for allowing this blunder to happen. But every time we get close with the Game Awards, where he wants it to be the Oscars of gaming, and it will never get there if this kind of shenanigans continues to happen. That's the problem. Because what it does is it takes away it being legitimate. because now there is question and there's doubt. When you raise doubt, you have a hard time getting people to come behind your product and make it legitimate. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. But
no, I think you make some fantastic points. I don't know if Jeff will do anything, if he'll even acknowledge it. It would be pretty unprecedented for him to add an additional game to the Game of the Year conversation. My only caveat is like, can he even do that? Because as far as I know, Jeff doesn't pick the games himself. He has a whole panel of industry people that vote on it. But I don't understand, because the industry is the one that gave it the 92 on Metacritic or 91 or whatever it's sitting at currently. How could they not include it in the Game of the Year conversation? And when I think about that, is it solely just because it's a racing game?
I mean, that's a great question. But you know, I'm sure you guys are aware of Benji Sales.
Yes.
Benji Sales is a friend of mine. I don't know him personally, but he's been on the show several times. He's a friend of the community, and he's a community member that has a following. He has the respect of the industry, right? And he said something in a tweet that I thought was absolutely incredible, where he basically accused this Illuminati board that we'll never know who they are of genre gatekeeping. And I think that is literally the perfect way to explain what has happened, because, you know, you've never seen a first-person shooter in the Game of the Year, right?
I think Overwatch won once.
Yeah,
well,
Overwatch
yeah,
won,
that is true.
But I think that's the outlier. Besides that, I don't think there's been.
And that was a
else.
weak year. That was like 2016.
Yeah, that year was bad.
But I mean, a racer has never won, and like I said, when you have people like myself and others within the gaming industry saying that this has now become the best racing, not of 2021, not of this new generation that started last November, but ever. Right? When you start saying those kind of comments, you really got to sit back in your chair and be like, look, I don't have an answer for this. And I don't know if Jeff will have an answer for this, but there is going to come a point, and I said this to everyone: please don't send death threats. Don't curse at him.
Yeah.
Don't do things like that, because what you're doing, don't light a fire just to burn it down because you're mad. Don't do that. I've added Jeff on Twitter on 4 different occasions. He hasn't blocked me yet because I'm a gentleman. And I have asked legitimate questions. But if I think that if we want to see change, and unfortunately, I don't know if anything is going to happen, but something has to happen. Something needs to happen, because again, you know, you said it beautifully. Wait a second. All the critics seem to come together and give it a 91 or 92. And it's not in the Game of the Year where there's the highest scores in 88. So where did we go wrong here? Now, the only thing that I thought of, and again, this is just my personal opinion, and I could be incredibly wrong, was these 6 games were picked and locked in before Forza released. And it was like, well, sorry, we already picked them. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, it could very possibly be true. And it just, honestly, the Game Awards, just overall, in terms of like what they put out for what the nominations are for Game of the Year, they generally lean one specific way. And I totally get it. So it was probably never on their radar to begin with. You know, oh, it's Forza. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. It might be good. They do good. Horizon 4 did well. Horizon 3 did well. But they know in advance they're not going to put it on there because, oh, it's a racing game. It's not going to have a narrative. We like narrative games mainly here on the Game Awards. Or I feel like that's really the fixation generally with Game Awards. Like whatever game had the best narrative for the year, that's probably what's going to be put on there. Besides those specific outliers like where it was Overwatch or even Sekiro, if you want to throw that in there too.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting to think about, like, because we've been told there's a deadline for when games have to come out to be able to be submitted for the Game Awards. So we know Forza made the cutoff because it's in other categories. So why is it not in this one? I think that is really what people are getting hung up on. Like, was this, and you bring up a good point, was this one locked in ahead of that deadline? Or do the other categories have different deadlines for what games can be nominated? Because something like Shin Megami Tensei getting in RPG of the year, that game literally just came out.
Yeah. I mean, it's, again, these are, look, these are great points. And I do want to reiterate that this isn't fanboys whining about their favorite brand not getting in there, because I've seen the argument. Well, wait a second, Boom. Jeff Keighley doesn't hate Xbox. Xbox got 20 nominations, but the nomination count is irrelevant to the conversation. The conversation is that the highest rated game of the year is not in the category for game of the year. And I think if you want to make it as simplistic as possible, that is all you have to say. Forget about the nearly 9.1 million players in 7 days. Forget about the fact that it's being called a car PG and it has its own subgenre. Forget the fact that it is breaking records for Microsoft Xbox Game Studios, unlike anything before it. If you take all of that out of the question, or out of the conversation, I again, to keep it simple, the highest reviewed game of the year is not in the game of the year category. That to me sounds preposterous at best.
Absolutely. No. And I think this is a discussion we could go on and on until Jeff says something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until Jeff says something, we're really not going to know. And that's unfortunate. I hope it gets addressed at some point. But we're gonna put the Forza discussion aside.
Yeah.
I think great points. Please go check out Boom's video about it if you want to hear more on the topic. But we're gonna get in the show. So segue time, guys. Let's grab some books from the library and listen while I tell you some stories. Story number 1. Getting the short story out of the way first, so we can dive into the fun stuff later on. We have our Game Pass update number 2 of November. As we do twice a month here, we let you know what's coming to Xbox Game Pass so you can plan your gaming accordingly. Available right now, we have Dead Space and Dragon Age Origins, both in the cloud. Available today, November 17th, Next Space Rebels on cloud, console, and PC. Tomorrow, November 18th, XO1 cloud, console, PC. Fae Tactics cloud, console, PC. My Friend Pedro, cloud, console, PC. Undungeon, cloud, console, and PC. November 23rd, we have Deer Simulator, cloud, console, and PC. And Mortal Shell, cloud, console, PC. November 30th, we get Evil Genius 2, one I know Tom is looking forward to. But I did want to ask, Garrett, I'm going to start with you. You've been quiet through this whole Forza discussion. Any of those piquing your interest?
Evil Genius off the top of my head. Other than that, there's just so much other stuff to play right now.
Mm-hmm. What is Evil Genius for someone that doesn't? Because I have no idea what this game is, but you and Tom are both interested in it.
I would let Tom. I just watched the trailer. It's a new thing to me, so I don't like to look at stuff too much before I get into it for the first time. But take her from here, Tom.
It's pretty much a little it's like a tycoon kind of game. So have you played, there was one hospital one, I forgot what the name was, but I played quite a bit of it on Xbox when it was on Game Pass. But pretty much you're an evil genius, you have a layer, and you're pretty much doing whatever you're doing to cover up whatever you're doing on the side with whatever shenanigans, which doesn't take itself seriously at all.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do things like run a casino and, make yourself seem legit and not get caught by whoever the forces may be known, which I have yet to know, because besides the trailer, there's really not much information that I've seen on this. But yeah, you could just customize and just build up your little, empire.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Boom. Any
Evil
of
Genius
those?
Park Sim. That's all I got from
Yes,
it.
it's pretty much a park sim. Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. We got the Park Sim guy over there, Garrett. Boom. Any of these piquing your interest?
You know what? Actually, no. And I'm glad because the backlog is real.
Mm-hmm.
And I have committed the cardinal sin of gaming in 2021, and I'm playing like 10 games.
Oh
And
boy.
I don't do that. I never do that because I like beating games. I like completing. I like seeing them through. I like my trophies. I like my achievements.
Yep.
And it's just this year, my God, it really has been a year of gaming at its absolute best. And Halo hasn't even, we're not talking about Halo, but Halo, the campaign hasn't even released yet. I mean, wow.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you. There's nothing here that speaks to me, and I'm like you. I've played 67 games this year, and I think I've beaten about 64 of them.
Good for
So
you.
yeah. I've
I don't know how you do
platinumed.
it.
I've platinumed like 8 or 9 this year, and
Wow, that's dedication.
gotten about the same 100% on Xbox. So there's just been
Honestly,
a
Boom,
lot of
it's
good stuff.
obscene in the chat how many pictures he sends us with
Mm.
like 1,000 gamer score. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, when he says he finishes the game, he actually finished the
Yeah,
game.
like he finishes it. He goes out and gets everything. Yeah, it's like one every 2 weeks on average, I'd say.
Only if
Wow.
it's reasonable, guys. Only if it's reasonable. Like I don't do ones with 2 playthroughs. If I can't get it all
Yeah,
the
but
first
you're a
time, we're not
platformer
going.
guy. Getting flags
Yeah,
on top of buildings is reasonable to you. That's not to me.
I love platformers. Psychonauts 2. Psychonauts 2 is such an enjoyable 100%. That one I really love doing that.
Back to this list, Mortal Shell.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a Souls like pretty much, but
Mhm.
it's supposed to be a little bit easier. It has like sort of the same elements with like Sekiro, where when you die, you kind of revive yourself and keep moving forward. But the way this one works is like your shell, so to speak, is whatever class you chose to be, and when you die, you lose that ability, and you're just fending for yourself, trying to be naked. But you can go right back to your body if you can, revive yourself, and then just keep repeating. You don't have to it's less rage inducing because you have a more chance to actually beat the boss.
Sounds like Diablo 2 when you died and you had to go back to your body to get your loot.
Well, your body's literally right in front of you. You can just walk right to
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah,
But oh yeah,
Diablo
in Diablo 2, getting your loot back was a pain. Like
Yeah.
I found out that you can just log off and just log back in, and your loot was right under you. So I just started abusing the hell out of that because I was
That's
like, I was not going to crawl back to
What?
that dungeon.
Yeah, that's hilarious you say that because when I was a kid playing Diablo 2, somebody was like, "I'll Sherpa you through this" because I was under leveled, and then he ditched me and I got killed by mobs, and I could not get I tried for like 30 minutes, and then my grandma come in, she's like, "We gotta go," and I was like, "I'm gonna lose all my stuff," and then like logged off, logged back in, and my stuff was right there. I was like, "Why did I waste 30 minutes of my life and like get worried? I just lost all my stuff." So yeah, that's a funny story. Apart from the new Game Pass games, guys, I did want to make note that today Xbox also announced that Xbox Cloud Gaming is now possible on Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One consoles. This feature has been available to insiders for some times, but now if you have a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, you can stream games and to try them before downloading them to save space on your SSD. Just a fun little feature. I probably won't use it, but it's there. Wanted to make a public service announcement.
I thought it was already out,
Mm.
but I guess I'm an insider.
Okay. Anybody got anything to say on cloud gaming before we move into the fun topic?
Well, I mean, it's good that it's there. I mean, obviously, if you have an older console, and let's say, for instance, you can't find one of the new ones, or for a lot of people, gaming is an expense, and some people just can't afford to get these new consoles. It's they're expensive. It allows those gamers not to be ignored or left behind, and also still remain a part of the conversation. I think it's incredibly important.
Yeah, it's definitely important. But when I'm playing a platformer through the cloud,
Oh yeah,
and I'm still like not able to execute my jumps properly, then there's still a lot of work to be done cloud-wise.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, it's never going to replace traditional gaming by any stretch of the truth, no matter how good it is. I'm going to be honest with you, for a huge subset of gamers, we want the box, right? Like
I do.
I certainly, I will never, if you gave me a choice and said, well, boom, you can play on your TV, you just connect the controller, or do you want to spend the money? I will spend the money 10 out of 10 times because I want that box.
Yeah. What I would see myself using this more currently is more for, oh, this game's 100 gigs. Let me just try to cloud real quick, see if it's worth playing. Oh, it's bad within the first 5 minutes. Okay, I won't play it.
Yeah.
You know what? Avengers is a perfect game to stream this. If you're on the fence about trying Avengers, save yourself the 126 gigabyte download. Stream it first.
Yeah.
See if you like it. But I'm with you about cloud game. As someone that literally just played 4 Sly Cooper games through PS Now streaming, the amount of times you would jump and then it would lag and the button would not register and you'd fall to your death is infuriating. And I have really good internet, like 400 megabytes down, and like there's no reason I should be lagging, but it is what it is. I'm happy for those that have it. And if you're on Xbox One, you can now play Series X exclusives.
Yep.
You can stream them, like the Medium. I know. So if you were looking forward to that, check it out.
Yeah.
But guys, time for story number 2, and this is the fun one. So Xbox celebrated 20 years on Monday with a celebration stream. We're gonna give a little show recap, but the show opened with Robbie Bach, who, for those that don't know, is the original head of Xbox, in this really awesome Xbox themed stage. It immediately was like chills in my body. I don't know if anybody else is like the whole time in a nostalgia trip while I was watching this. I was like, oh my God, I'm in on this. But the first thing they announced was actually a 6-part documentary about the history of Xbox called Power On. It's going to cover the inception of the Xbox and throughout history up to today. It releases December 13th, 2021 across various video platforms, including Roku and YouTube. I'm going to watch the hell out of this, guys.
Oh, I'm absolutely watching this 100%.
Tom, Garrett, you going to watch this documentary? It looked so good from what they showed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a watch. I mean, generally what I do right before I'm going to go to bed, I throw on a documentary. If it's good enough, I'll sit through it. If it makes you fall asleep, it's fine.
It's like a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
What I hope is that they release it all at once and not one episode for like every week or something. Like I want all 6 episodes to binge because I just want to enjoy hearing about, like, I don't know, something about learning about the history of the gaming consoles in general. It reminded me of something I would have seen back in the day on like G4 when G4 was good. That's kind of like the vibes I got.
The glory days.
Yeah, for real though. Okay, that's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for that. But let's move a little more into the games territory. Phil Spencer showed up. He talked about the importance of gamers. We got a little cringy video, in my opinion, about meeting people in real life. I couldn't tell if that one girl was like meeting a friend or if she was kind of romantically interested in that one guy. But that's neither here nor there. We get a clip showing the initial announcement of Xbox One backwards compatibility. And this is what we've all been waiting for. As soon as you saw that clip, you knew the rumors were going to be true. We got 70 plus new Xbox and Xbox 360 titles, including Max Payne, all the Fear games, Dead or Alive Ultimate, all the OG Xbox games are going to benefit from Auto HDR, and 30 of these titles received FPS boosts, including Gears of War, Fable, Cameo, and Sonic Generations. There's a full list out there if you're interested. I've looked at it. Boom, did any of these, have you looked at the list? If so, like what's the big standout for you that you're excited
oh man
to, like,
Max Payne 3. That is the one that I put 10 minutes into, not because it was a bad game. I used to buy so many games, I just fell off with it. And I've been saying for years, my God, I would love to revisit Max Payne because I love the original two. I'm sure that if you try to play them now, you'd be like, wow, this is rubbish. But Max Payne 3, I literally bought it immediately. Like, I couldn't wait. And you know something was great? A series like Fear. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know how many you guys played it. Fear was so good.
Yeah, it was.
It has a horror element to it. It had action. FPS was you're shooting all over the place, big guns, big robots, and it was like a possession, first person shooter. It was fantastic. I mean, again, there are some games in here that are there. You're like, wow, I'm never going to play that. But the fact that they're there, I mean, and it's bittersweet, as we know. It is the last update that we're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And they explained why, and it makes sense, right? Legal probably was at the top of the list.
The quote and hidden in there was, while we continue to stay focused on preserving and enhancing the art form of games, we have reached the limit of our ability to bring new games to the catalog from the past due to licensing, legal, and technical constraints.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and you can't argue with that. I am going to say one other caveat. I don't think you can get it digitally, and that's why they were able to get it, on there. 50 Cent Blood in the Sand was incredible. Like, I think I got almost all the achievements in that game. It was so good, but you can only get it on disc. And right now, I think on eBay, it's like $100.
Oh man.
I was going to bring that caveat up that some of the games they added are only if you have the original discs.
Yes.
Like, you can't, I don't think Fear is able to be bought on the Microsoft stores. You have to have the discs, which is kind of disappointing because, like, Fear was probably one I would probably want to check out. But what were we saying, Tom?
But that makes sense to me. That's why it doesn't make sense that they're not able to keep bringing these games, just making it function. The fact that people could just get the discs. I mean, you don't need licensing issues for that at that point because you're not reselling the game. So that makes no sense. For example, like, are we going to talk about games that we might want, like, that we might have wanted?
Yeah, you can. You say whatever you want, man.
Okay,
this is your time to go.
For example, like, one of my favorite games, like, back in the day, was like Def Jam Fight for New York and Def Jam Vendetta.
Oh, good games, dude.
Great fighting games. I used to love playing that with my brothers all the time, and that's one of the ones I would have loved to see in backwards compatibility, even if it means I have to go out and buy a copy of it on eBay for $3 right now. So it wouldn't be an issue. So it's really hard to say, like, what their actual constraints are, because in terms of technical issues, there should be no real issues of why some of these games can't run. Licensing makes sense for reselling purposes, but I think they're more just giving up on the program personally.
I mean, your presentation makes a lot of sense, right? Like, it certainly would garner a conversation as to why, especially when something like 50 Cent, which is licensed music, right?
Yeah.
Right. So they're not selling that digitally. We know that. They confirmed it. It's disc only. Would that work for Def Jam? One of the games I was really hoping, and it didn't happen. I don't know if you guys played it. I'm not a huge RTS guy, but Aliens versus Predator on the OG Xbox was incredible.
I remember that game,
dude. You got all three campaigns: Marines, Aliens, and Predators. It was incredible. I actually still have that.
To drag people back to the hive.
Yeah, dude, it was fantastic. It was great RTS. I mean, no one practically ever remembers it. You guys don't even remember it. But again, I was hoping that would be one because I actually still own the disc. That disc is $100 on eBay.
Ooh,
yeah.
Garrett, which one of these? You look at the list. Any speaking to you?
I didn't get a chance to look at the list yet, but other than his amazing choice with the AVP game, Black's already on there, so I don't think I really got anything else that I would want from back in the day.
The only thing I really wanted was Kingdom Under Fire games, and they weren't on the list. I was a little upset when I saw
Those
that.
were actually really good. They were way ahead of their time. Kingdom of Fire was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I sing their praises all the time. I was like, they mixed RTS with hack and slash. It's two genres. You're like, these doesn't work, and it blended beautifully. So I wish those had gotten on, but there's some good stuff here, like the Dead or Alive series. Great choices. Fear, obviously, we've mentioned. Max Payne, so requested. Everyone wanted Max Payne. And I like that they FPS boosted some more games, like the Gears of War series FPS boosted. Fable, I want to bring this up. How come Fable 1 and 3 got FPS boost, but Fable 2 did not?
Interesting.
How does that make any sense? What is wrong with Fable 2?
It might have had some additional issues. Like, you remember what they had to do with like Dark Souls 3? Apparently, they had to do some like weird thing to get it to work. Maybe the game was just programmed in such a weird way that it would take a little longer.
It's so weird to me though. And then Cameo got boosted, which if I love Rare, so I might actually go play Cameo at some
Cameo
point.
was a masterpiece, brother. I'll tell you now, it's fantastic. It really is a unbelievably good platformer.
I didn't play it when I got my 360. It was like that was kind of like those were my teenage years. I was too edgy for something like Cameo.
Yeah,
I was playing
that
Gears
was
of
the
War.
first game that I shelved.
Yeah. That wasn't one I picked up during this, but like now I look at it, I was like, that looks like a pretty fun game. Maybe I should check that out.
Yeah, if you're a platformer fan, you're gonna dig it for sure.
Cool. And 60 FPS, I'm there. So that's awesome. Great new additions. You can find the full list of everything that's been FPS boosted and added online. Go check it out. See if the games you're looking for are there. But continuing on with the show, we got the People's Champ, The Rock, is here. He was promoting his new movie, Red Notice, which, according to King from the Iron Lords podcast, is like not very good. He says there's a lot of shooting, but nobody ever died. Like you'd see people get hit with bullets, and then they didn't die. He was like, "Am I watching a Disney action movie?"
It was a fun movie.
I enjoyed it. Mrs. Boom and I watched it. I think when the heck did we watch it? Maybe Friday night. We watched it over the weekend. I think it was. I mean, again, is it going to win an Oscar? No. Is it a fun popcorn movie? Yes.
Okay. All right. He was here promoting a vault that you can win a bunch of Xbox stuff in. Has anyone gone and checked out the website? I haven't.
Nope. And I heard people that have didn't work.
Oh, great. That's a good look. Well, if you're interested, www.xboxvault.com. You can try to go win some prizes, Xbox memorabilia, a painting of The Rock, I think he said. So there's a whole thing.
If I win, that's going up on eBay because I know I'm going to make big bucks on it.
Yes, absolutely. How much? I bet there's some fanatical wrestling fan out there that would pay you a ridiculous amount of money to have that.
Maybe even The Rock would bid.
He wants it back. All right. Next, we got a teaser for the Halo TV show streaming on Paramount Plus next year. The teaser was the most I've been excited for since this was announced. I was like, wow, that looks really, that suit looks good. Like I'm going to check this out. I got Paramount Plus, so it doesn't cost me anything more. You guys gonna check out the Halo show?
Oh, absolutely, dude. I thought the way that they did it was fantastic. It looked really good. I mean, like I said, it was what you would expect. It was a teaser, but it's I like what I saw.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, how long ago has it been since we were supposed to get like so much Halo content, like a Halo movie, for example, and this stuff just never like goes into fruition. Like, I'm excited to see this pull through. The visuals from what they showed briefly, it looks nice. So I'm just hoping, if Master Chief's in it, especially, it's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
Which streaming services is it on again?
Paramount Plus. It used to be CBS All Access, I think.
Yeah, I think it's like $5 a month.
Also, you're in Canada, though. I don't know if it's streaming somewhere else in Canada.
Yeah. I'd want to watch it, but I could either find it online or I could somehow steal it off of you. But other than that, I'm sort of doomed to go without.
Joke's on you. I steal it off my friend. I don't pay for it. It's not my login. Can't give it to you, buddy.
Perfect. I'm down to be a secondhand thief.
I don't have the login. I can't give it to
No karma to a person I've ever met.
you. Well, Bonnie Ross was hyping up Halo Infinite some more, hyping up the TV show. We got a dope live orchestra performance, guys.
Yeah,
Chills
that was excellent. Yeah.
throughout my entire body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was well done. A lot of people got emotional. You saw it online. A lot of people were talking about that. It sounded. I mean, I said it on when we did the live stream of it. I would pay to go sit down and listen to that. They could play for 3 hours, and I would be just as content from the first minute to the end. It was just extremely powerful and well done.
I agree. It was a chilling performance. I was like, wow, I forgot. Like, I didn't forget, but it sometimes you gotta sit there and like really be like, wow, this is inspirational and like kind of defining in some way music from a video game. But that leads to the big announcement. We got Joe Staten and 343 talking about the flights, what they've learned, thanking everyone for playing. And then he sends it over to Tom French, the head of multiplayer. And we heard the rumors. I talked about him at the Iron Lords podcast on Sunday. Was Halo Infinite multiplayer going to drop early? And you know what? Yes, they did it. They made everyone's dream come true. Halo Infinite multiplayer dropped on Monday. People have been playing it. And this is where I want to have our Halo multiplayer discussion, guys. We've all played it. I know for a fact. Boom, I'm going to throw it to you first. What are your overall impressions of the Halo Infinite multiplayer?
My God, it's perfect in every way, shape, or form. It played like the flight, but better. Everything worked. I was in a game. I was out of a game, back into a game, no problem. It's funny. When you look at the big picture, like just take a step back for a second, right? And, we have seen Microsoft get the short end of the stick. Now, whether that's self-inflicted or just the short end of the stick because the particular scenario that they're in, more times than not. And you look at this particular situation with Halo Infinite, and it seems as if all of the stars have aligned for Xbox, for 343, and for Microsoft. And I say that because both Call of Duty and Battlefield basically they're stumbling right now as we speak, and for good reason, because they're both a buggy mess, right? Those are the two bigs. Those are the ones that we're going to go up against Halo. It just so happens to be that the paywall of $70+ is making the stumble even more apparent. And now here you have Halo free to play for the first time ever. The flights were really good. Like the last one, when they opened up the big team battle, was flawless. Like I played for hours, and it felt like I was playing for minutes. And then here we get this big announcement, and they're smart, right? Because there were a lot of people like, well, they said they weren't going to release them separate, but they call it a beta. Say, hey guys, listen, you know what? From now until December 8th, when the game launches, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, go enjoy yourself. And by the way, the battle pass is active. All of your levels, all the stuff you unlock is going to come with you. You don't lose anything. Like I said, it plays. So I mean, when you just click start and you play by yourself, it's a different experience. But when you go in with a crew, man, it is laugh riot fun. I jumped in with Zemi Games, which by the way is, you've seen him on my show, very mild mannered, very to the point. He's an animal online. Listening to him trash talk is unbelievable. He was killing so many people with the Wasp that I felt he got bored. He said, "Boom, where are you? I'm over here. Here, take the Wasp out. I just killed a bunch of like 12 people. Take it for a spin." And he went and killed off another 5 or 6 people on foot. It's when you go in with a bunch of, and I encourage that, please go in with a bunch of buddies, because that is where it really, when you're rolling as a crew and you're you're 4 men deep, you're going to cut down anybody in your path. And it's just, all I can say is hashtag Halo is back, baby. I mean, that's all I can say.
Tom, let me hear your impressions. Come on.
Gosh. See, I guess my impressions aren't nearly as positive.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Okay. No, it's
What?
good. It's a good conversation.
I have
multiple
issues with this besides the obvious ones. So first, I want to talk about like map rotations, the way this game works. So the way that they make weapons rotate out between the maps, like they're the same weapon. It's not the same weapons on the same map all the time. They rotate them out. So in terms of learning a map, you don't know, like, okay, there's going to be a plasma rifle right here every single time on this specific spawn point. No, because that spawn area, it might rotate out to be a different gun and the next time you load into it. So it's not as consistent. And same with the power weapons. There's never like one specific power weapon that's going to be spawned. That also can be rotated out, whether it's the skewer, whether it's the spanker, whether it's a sniper rifle, it's going to rotate out. So it changes the flow of how Halo works in that sense. It really, and this, I don't know if this is going to be a good or bad thing.
Counter that, I think it evolves the map more because you had like in the old games where, like, let's say in Blood Gulch, where we had our sniper nests, right? Because you have your sniper, it was like an established route, right?
Exactly.
Now, those are all ever evolving things on the battleground. A sniper nest is now all of a sudden a rocket launcher is coming out of there, destroying vehicles, right? I think it adds like another element to the my buddy was watching me play and we were talking about how it still feels dense like a Battlefield fight where you get a lot of people in there for the big team games. And we were talking about how the weapons just like they change everything. Some guy comes running through a group that's safeguarded behind the thing with a needler quick, throws a couple plasma grenades down. Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it wasn't fun playing it, especially like in social games. But the way I love to play Halo is ranked. I love to play competitive Halo. That's the way I love to play. And in terms of being in a competitive standpoint, you want things as baseline as possible with not as much randomness to it. And to be able to actually get well at the game and being able to learn the maps, being able to know when to rotate through and being able to coordinate better with your teammates. The fact that everything's more random, it kind of puts like a wrench in that a little bit. I want to see how more of it works down the line, especially once they start doing their Halo esports scene and see like what the pros thinks about it as well. If I have a complaint about it, I can see like other people having the same mindset. Besides that, gameplay feels really flawless, smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest complaint, battle pass system, disgusting. I hate it. I had this issue during the tech flight. I mentioned it to them. I'm surprised they stuck through with it. It's one, you don't level up as you just play the game. Depending on how well you did, that doesn't actually impact your battle pass performance.
That is a big problem. As a matter of fact, they did address it because it must be, I think it was Brian Gerard came out and said on Twitter yesterday that they are seeing the I hate to use the word complaints, but they're seeing the issues that people are having. Yeah, the feedback. Thank you. And they're going to have to address it because I think it was Boxenberger. You know, he's on the Xbox Factor podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He said he played for 3 hours and didn't get any XP, and I think that's egregious for sure. I think the way that they need to adjust it is. They give you things to do, like, shoot someone in the head, 4 times, win a match, shoot someone in the toe, whatever you're going to do. But it can't be just that, because if you just want to go out and play Halo,
exactly,
they're actually making you not play the game the way you want to play. I think that sends a terrible message. Like I don't want to do all of these things. Like, I just want to go in and hopefully my kill death rate is a little bit higher and I get better. That's all I really care about. How many assists did I have? I had 8 assists, 6 kills, 9 deaths. Okay, not a great match, but I'm getting there. And if I do that and I play and I'm not getting any experience, it's gonna break the game for sure.
Mm-hmm. This is remember a few weeks ago, guys, when battle pass details were coming out. I think it was maybe before the flights. Word for word, what Boom just said was exactly what I was worried about happening. And then we get here, and what's going on? They're trying to dictate the way you play.
It's not good,
and it's very frustrating. I love this. I didn't play any of the flights, so I hopped in Monday night. I got a group. Me and my friends were playing. Majority of us are enjoying it. We got one guy who's not the biggest Halo fan, but he's coming in. But I'm loving the gameplay. I think it might be the best first-person shooter I've played in a decade. I absolutely am having a blast with it. I like the maps for the most part. There's like one I'm not a big fan of. My big issue is the battle pass because I've probably put 5-6 hours into the game and I'm level 3.
Oh, wow.
That is absurd.
Yeah.
And you get the challenges, but then there's those other ones where it's like play a certain game mode and do this in a certain game mode, which is
I don't want to do that.
I agree.
I don't want to do it, but my problem with it even more is they don't let you pick the game mode. You go to quick play and it's like you might get oddball, you might get Slayer, you might get I'm like, okay, you want me to do these challenges, but you don't give me a way to actually focus and complete the challenges. I'm sitting here. It's like, well, you might get it. Maybe you'll play for 3 hours and we'll never give you this game mode. And maybe the weapon won't be on the map that you need to do. So that's super frustrating. I did want to bring in the chat because when we started the show, who is it? Kirby Zero Luis said 343 announced they're fixing the battle pass. Mayday Bomber followed up with they're adding play one game challenges to help make sure you consistently progress through the battle pass by playing matches the way you want. Great change.
Excellent.
They are adjusting, fixing bugs with, and removing some weekly challenges based on feedback. These tunings to challenge difficulty will help you progress through the weekly challenges faster. To make up for the reset to the weekly challenges, they're going to grant this week's ultimate reward, which is the Sigil Mark 7 visor, to everyone who logs in between November 23rd and November 30th.
Okay.
See, I don't think that's still enough for me.
It's a start at least, though.
Yeah, it's a start.
It's a start, but it's a time lock start still. Sure, you do one game every time and you get free XP for the battle pass. But what about me who loves to try hard and I'm doing 30, 35 kill games consistently? Why can't I get more experience just for me doing better?
I agree.
Instead of just being time locked into this one challenge. And that's where they really dropped the ball on it. They should have thought about in advance. Any other battle pass system, if they look at Call of Duty, if they looked at Rocket League, they all have the same things. They have, yes, there's daily challenges, sure. But you also get experience just for playing the damn game.
And that has to happen as well. I agree.
Yeah.
Garrett, you got anything about the battle pass? You're awfully quiet over there.
Not too much about the battle pass. It hasn't really been saying. I was just saving my criticisms for my turn on the whole praising.
No, let me hear it. Let me hear. I
want to hear
your criticisms.
Okay, so I only really got 2. I actually pulled up Halo as you guys were talking, just so I could properly make my criticisms. I think the UI needs a lot of work coming into it. We only got the multiplayer ready right now, but what if you just wanted to play a random game of Infection? I was just trying to back up my statement by seeing how many steps it would take to get to it. But you can't even get to it easily through the multiplayer, right? Because you click on the multiplayer, you got the bot boot camp, quick play, big team, and ranked arena. And even when we were playing before, it took Tom a minute for us to set up just a game for me and him to bash each other quickly between our shows, right? So I think that is one thing that they could definitely work on. Because to me, Halo is so much more than just the capture the flag, oddball, and Slayer, right? It is sometimes just playing Infection with your friends and other things like that. And the other criticism I should add is I think it's weird that in the bot boot camp, you can get achievements. They should take that away.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I don't
Because
know
like
about the
I
achievement
just think
thing.
I think it's just weird how I was going through like the bot boot camp and like, let's face it, if you have ever played any sort of shooter before, you're gonna poop on them.
Yeah,
And
especially if we
like
had them on easy.
yeah, and like I think it's like I got like 8 of the little diamond achievements, the rare
Yeah.
ones.
Okay.
Going
Yeah.
through there, and I was like, this could be harder. They should actually keep it in like this big team and Slayer or ranked games.
Yeah, as far as the totem pole goes of like what issues are, I would say that's probably really low for me.
Yeah. But those are just the only 2 things I could say about it. Other than that, it's like pretty main things. I wanted to try to
Yeah.
not be as popular with the
Mhm.
hopping on the bandwagon. Of course,
That's
they're
fine.
going to work on the battle pass and whatnot. But
So-
I don't know. I'm having a hell of a time playing it though.
I
There
have
was this one.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like there was this one time that like me and my buddy were playing. Well, not one time. It's only been out for like 24 hours or something. But me and my buddy were playing for like 2 rounds, and like I hopped over the corner, and these 3 guys were ganging up on me. I was about to die at the last second. I grapple shot one of those things from the trailer to me, and I took all 3 of them out. Oh my god, it was beautiful.
I hope
But
you
it's
recorded
like-
that somehow.
Yeah.
I didn't record it on mine, but my buddy did. He had like
Oh.
the upper angle because he was like, I hopped over the cliff and he stayed up top and he was shooting down. And I like grappled it towards me. I took all 3 of them out. It was
That's
sweet.
awesome.
I felt like a Saving Private Ryan moment.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a lot of those moments. And I
Yeah.
mean, listen, again, they're gonna have to make adjustments. It's not gonna launch perfect, right? And I think that if we are vocal with it and you get out there, 343 is pretty good at listening. They immediately, I mean, again, it's only been out since Monday afternoon when they announced it, and people were complaining about the battle pass, and that change is happening now. I mean, again, they're gonna have to, fine tune it like anything else. But I think that we will get the perfect Halo at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't it right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's in regards
Considering
to
what its
playing,
competition is,
yeah,
and how it's only been out for 24 hours, it's doing damn well.
yeah. Oh, it's doing gangbusters.
Oh yeah, I mean, free to play. That's a massive thing. But the fact that I can't jump in and just right now choose that I want to do Slayer only.
Yeah.
Free for all, Team Slayer, sniper matches only.
For sure.
Why do I have to be force locked into quick play?
For sure.
What I would do to resolve that, like if they want people to focus on quick play because they want people to have like more match rotation there, fix your battle pass system. Make it so when people queue up into quick play, you get more experience for just joining quick play instead. But let us have the option to choose what game modes you want to play, because for one, I love Team Slayer way more than I love objective-based game modes. I don't like being forced into that. So I'm gonna join those games. I'm gonna play them, but half the time I might not follow the objective because you threw me in there and I didn't want to be there.
Yeah, I think from a gameplay perspective, they're pretty good. Like it's I don't really have any complaints. I think the grapple shot is the most fun equipment maybe ever in Halo. I've never been a big fan of equipment, but the grapple shot has me. I've done so many, like I literally shot it at someone and just zoomed across the map with a gravity hammer and smacked them. And I was like, this is so satisfying. So I love that. I think all their issues right now are coming from UI and like not technical, but like outside of gameplay issues that can be resolved. And I think it's good that they've launched this as a beta. That way people go into it and they're like, well, it's a beta. This is what betas are for.
Yeah, that's the excuse Fortnite uses. It's never
It's
launched.
still in beta. Yeah, it's still in beta. I did want to ask about Halo Infinite. Do you guys do you guys think that we will be playing this for a long time? Does it have the longevity that you're for early impressions, obviously, but do you think this is something that's going to stick around and withstand the test of time?
I absolutely do. I think what you're going to see with this game is it is going to appeal to a wide audience. There is a reason why Master Chief was dropped into Fortnite. I am still going to tell you this. I'm disappointed that he was not the last fighter in Smash. I thought it was almost a lock because you were going to get those Nintendo people to come say, "Oh, who's this? Who's this army guy?" Right in the suit of armor, right? And that didn't happen, right? The Sora, whatever. So, but I think that what you're going to get with this, the free-to-play thing is genius. It's probably the best move that 343 and Xbox could have done. Because when you're going up against the likes of Apex Legends, Fortnite, and Call of Duty, those are some hefty competitors. But I think that Halo there's something about it that makes it so much different than all three of those games. You're going to get the old players. You're going to get the players that played it on the 360 and never the OG stuff. But I think that it has a fun factor to it that will invoke even a younger generation to potentially get in on it, especially because they're going to have these battle passes, and they're going to have the different skins that you can get. Like obviously season 1 is all about reach, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get to levels 78 to unlock one of the skins, but I hope I do. I think that this game is going to be around for years. They just need to continue to innovate, and they'll be okay.
I hope so. Tom, you think it's got legs?
It got legs for itself, yeah, but I can't see myself playing it after like a week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, dude. Just because of all the current issues I mentioned, I can't choose what I want to do. As it currently stands, I'd rather play the Master Chief Collection because I can pick what I want to play.
Okay,
actually, okay, I sort of see where he's standing from that point, and I would agree with him, and it's based exactly off of what I could say. For what the game has right now of the select game modes always randomized, yeah. Until I could just link up with 3-4 of my buddies and just hey, do you want to play Infection? Or what was the name of that one where you had the grav hammer? It was their version of hockey. Griffball.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you could pound out a few rounds of that. For me in these games, it's all about the custom games and seeing what individual creators do. So the Forge, I'm waiting on.
Exactly, and that's not coming until Q2 of next year, maybe.
Right.
So we're a long ways off before even get to that.
So but for right now, me and my buddies all have plenty of fun until the campaign comes out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I play Halo on and off all the time, like I have for years. So this is gonna stay installed on my Xbox, and I'm gonna be playing it. And I fully expect them to fix the matchmaking queues, let us choose what we want. I don't think that's going to be something that remains the same. So last thing I want to say, there is one more issue, and this affects people that want to play with their communities. You can only you can't just have your community members join your party. They have to, it's friends only or invite only for your lobbies.
That's stupid.
I saw streamers complaining about that. They can't play with their communities, and that makes things very frustrating.
Yeah, but by the time the game gets to that point, if we're only looking prospectively, really, Halo 5, they had the custom lobby match, queues that you can just join into. You pick which one you wanted to join. So eventually, you'll get to that point where you can just, boom, jump in.
I hope so. Good start. I think they got some improvements. We can all agree on that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, guys, anything else to add on Halo before we wrap up the show?
Oh no, absolutely. This is listen, I got to tell you, I like the bricks that they're putting down for this path. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a beta. I think Tom is going to be pleasantly surprised that what he's asking for, and I think what he's asking for should be like standard fare, right? Like I should be able to pick what game mode I want to play. And I think that they doled it out. Now, in the finished product, I think what he's asking for is going to be there. Honestly, I would be very, very surprised if it wasn't. I think that, we got 10 maps of the 23 that's supposed to be there, right? I think we're going to start seeing that once the servers are steady and people are playing and they know how much influx they're getting, because they got slammed the first day. I mean, you remember, people couldn't even download it, right? Because everybody wants to play. But I will say, I think it is a good start. Let's just say that.
Absolutely. I would love to know I hope they release player numbers like they've done with Forza.
Oh yes, me too. 100%.
I really want to know, because I think this has a huge.
I mean, the Steam numbers have been amazing so far.
They've been ridiculous. As a matter of fact, on Monday's prime time, we started the show. It was 219,000 concurrent players. And by the end of the show, it was 263,000 in a 2-hour show. So, yeah, the numbers are going up.
Yeah, I think they hit 272, and that's like a all-time peak for like a first-person shooter, some record on Steam. So it's smashing it. And if they make those adjustments, maybe they'll get even higher. Campaigns still to come. King Arthur says, Halo is fun, but I'm pushing 50 and there's a noticeable slip in the skills.
I am 51, and yes, I can attest that he's telling the truth.
Come play with me, King Arthur. I'm 28, and you'll probably beat me. I tweeted it out. I'm very mediocre at Halo. I don't really get it. I don't know what these kids are doing. And I was never exceptional at Halo, but come hang with me. But guys, it's been a fun show.
Yes, indeed.
Excited to play more Halo. Boom, thank you so much for coming on. You want to let everyone know where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. First of all, gentlemen, thank you so much for allowing me to hang out with you guys. Of course, I offer my apologies. You changed the day of your show to accommodate me, and that's incredible. So I'm always going to be thankful for that. Listen, folks, what you see is what you get with me, right? There's no fluff. There's no me trying to, overextend. Boom is boom. I am who I am. I'm always going to be welcoming. If you're interested in checking out my content, if you've never heard of me, and why would you? Because I'm not even at 10,000 subs yet. Please stop by Double Barrel Gaming on YouTube. Check it out. I think you're gonna dig it. 3 live shows per week, and you get a bonus video on demand show now. A new segment that I started. I just dropped the episode 2 today, and hit me up on Twitter. At MrBoomStickXL. DMs are open. Speak to everybody. And if you are someone that wants you, take your shot. They always say, shoot your shot, and you want to be on a podcast, we'll talk. We'll get you on there and, introduce you to the community.
Yeah, listen, you make great content. That's why we wanted to have you
Thank
on.
You, sir.
You're always in the community that like I said, Iron Lords. You're always everywhere. You've had friends of ours on on your show, so you're really a big influence in this community from where I stand. And I want to say something, that this might be the livest YouTube chat we've ever had. Most comments going on, so your community shows up and supports.
Listen, I will say this, the chat, listen, it's social media, right? So you just don't know who you're going to get in the chat. And I got to say a big shout out to the chat that follows me, that shows up each and every show. They are the most welcoming and kindest group of gamers I've ever had the pleasure of seeing in there each and every show that I do. And I can't thank them enough. So what you're telling me doesn't surprise me, because they are a real class act.
All right. We have to have Mr. Boomstick on every week.
Aman's gone. Our 4th member, Aman, who didn't make it, he's gone. Mr. Boomstick. You're welcome.
Poor Amaan.
But no, seriously, thank you so much for coming on. We will definitely try to have you back at some point.
Oh yes, for sure.
And
Absolutely.
you know, we're more than open if you would have us on your show at any point.
Oh
We
yes,
can work
guys.
that out.
Do you know what? Do me a favor, DM me and give me everyone's Twitter so I can make sure I'm following you, and I'll keep that DM open. We'll try and get everybody on the show in one shot. We did that for the guys out of Hawaii, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, we can work on that.
Okay, awesome. I will do that after the show. But Tom, where can people find you?
You guys can find me here every Thursday, but not today because it's a Wednesday. And you guys can find me on Twitter at Alpaca Tom.
Garrett, where can they find you?
You can find me here and Twitter and Xbox and probably in Halo in 5 minutes from now. At Wayworn G.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mon on Twitter, on any social media. That's my gamer tag. If you want to play some Halo, drop me a friend request. We can party up. But that is it for the show, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.